One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Come on. You're here. Step on up. There's the link. Link not working. Yeah, everybody keeps saying that. Are we going to play that game? We're going to play that game. We're going to play that game, huh? There's email. Email me. We're going to play that game. It's always not working. It's always not working. Link don't work. It's always not working. Nah, he can email me. It's always not working. Everybody always says, "Oh, the link's not working." Nah, what it is, I'm in the chat room, and he has all this stuff to say. Now he can say it. Yeah, I emailed you link. Everybody always got something to say. Oh, it does work. Hallelujah.
The email worked. Can
Well,
you
let's
hear
get
me?
to it. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now
Let me
teach me.
say,
You said
pleasure
you're
to
going to pleasure to
pleasure
meet you.
pleasure to meet you. I listened
Hmm.
to you for years.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
So teach me.
I was a supporter. Let's go. What you
No, no,
teach
no,
me?
no, no. Teach me. You're the one that I'm in the chat room. You have a disagreement.
Yeah, definitely. So as I was explaining over the old man's channel, I found out we wasn't the slaves.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
I found out it was the Caucasian that was the slave.
Oh, okay. So where's your proof?
I tell you what, find me any so-called black person that have their manumission papers.
Manumission papers.
Uh-huh. I seen a lot of manumission papers, but guess what? None of them was our people. They were all Caucasians.
Because Caucasians came over as indentured servants.
They came over as yeah.
It,
They are the real slaves. The slaves come from
it,
the Slavic region.
okay.
If you want to
When
put
okay, when you come, okay, you know about language, right?
yes, I do.
Okay. So in other words, the word you use for enslaved people or indentured people comes from the root of your language. So a slave, say a slave would be called something different in China or in parts of Africa. They will call it something different because it comes from your language.
Hmm.
So a root word is going to is going to come through like a Negro or nigger or whatever it is. It's not African, is it?
Nope.
It's,
Nothing is African.
what are you talking about?
I tell you what language is
Also,
African?
what language is when I say
Hmm?
African, I'm talking about a region, okay? That we know. So, what language is it? Which language do you want to pick? Yoruba? You want to pick?
Any
Uh
of them.
it
Ask anybody from Africa
it it
that's
it, it
made
is
those languages.
it
Ask
well,
them
so in other words, what language is European?
European. You got German. You got
Ah,
French. You
so
got Dutch.
okay.
Yes.
So there's no such thing as there's no such thing as a language called European, is there?
No, because Europeans is from Queen Europa, the Phoenician. So
Wh-
they might have spoke the European language.
So in other words, that's what we call it because those are the names that we recognize, right?
Yep.
So in other words, yes. So slave is the same thing. It's actually a European. It's a actually it's actually a Latin derived word. So if you come over
What
here,
what you said? European?
if they bring you over here and you're an or you are an enslaved person in English, what are they going to call you?
They gonna call you a slave.
They call you a slave. Exactly. It doesn't have to mean that that you're Slavic.
Slavic. That's what the word slave derived from. That's where they
That's
would
where it's
label
derived from.
slaves.
That's where it's
Yeah.
derived from. Just like like negros in Latin is black.
Yeah. But Negro, listen, but there was a landmass called Negro land
Where?
over in that continent.
Where?
I'm gonna send you the map. It was from 17
So who named that?
the
Did the people?
Moors.
Did who named it? The Moors didn't name that.
Yes, they did.
No, it didn't.
They controlled that region. They controlled all over there
No,
at
they
that
didn't.
period of time.
Where did the Moors come from?
They come from Europe,
Northern
Africa,
Africa.
United
Northern
States.
Africa. What were the Moors? What were the Moors before there were Moors?
You tell me. They were
Phoenician. Phoenicians.
yeah, Phoenicians, Chaldeans, Ethiopians,
The the Chaldeans are from where?
Northern Africa.
No, they're from Iran.
They from northern. You got to realize back then they conquered that whole area.
That's not Northern Africa. In fact, it wasn't even called Africa then. African is what? Africa is what? A Greek word.
It's a Roman word.
It's a Greek word.
Roman
It's a
from
Greek word.
Scipio Africanus.
It's a Greek word.
Okay, that's your belief.
Look it up.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the slavery thing.
Do you know what the elite Romans actually spoke? What did they speak? What language they speak?
They spoke multiple languages.
No, they
Languages
didn't. No, they
because there was
spoke.
a bunch of them.
No, they didn't.
They spoke what? Some of them spoke Aramaic.
No, they didn't.
What did they speak then?
They spoke Greek. Look
They
it up.
spoke different
No,
languages.
they didn't. They spoke Greek. The original Etruscans or the patricians, they're all from the same. They're all derived from the same people. The elite spoke Greek. The Latin as we
They
Latin as we have
spoke
the Latin as we have come to have known it was the language of the common people. Just like the original the kings and queens of England actually spoke Norman French. English was not was spoken by the common people. It was a mixture of a bunch of things. So
Eng-
just like
Eng-
Latin was.
English was a business language. It was a language that people do business in.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Look it up.
I,
Look up,
I, I've
look up.
done it. I'm not one of these
No,
YouTube dudes that don't know
no
what they're talking about.
read up the history of English, man. Read it
I
up.
did.
Read up on it. Well, what is English
It
a
was a
mixture of?
business language.
What is a mixture of English a mixture of? It's a bastardized language. What's the mixture of?
It's not a bastard language.
It is a bastard.
It's a commerce language.
It is now. What was it before when it
It,
first
it,
originated?
it always was. That's why it
No,
was created.
no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
You have your opinion. I have mine.
No, there's books there. There's no opinion. It's called
Yeah.
history.
Yeah. When was those books published?
The original books,
Mm-hmm.
the original books when they were published in the 15th century.
Sure. Email it to me. I want to know. Because I'm going to email you some stuff. Because I know them books, what you referring to wasn't published at that particular time. It wasn't.
The King James Version, Bible version, was published when? In the 16th century. In English.
Okay.
In English. In the 15th
Okay.
century. English.
hmm
English is
No, after
the
the 15, it was focused in
the
16th
original the
century.
original kings were Norman French in the 13th century. English was not an adopted language. If that you could actually go to the Learning Channel, okay? Not the Learning Channel. What is it? TTC. And the dude who's a English linguist. He actually wrote a book called The History of English. He actually speaks the Old English language. In fact, it's still up there. Old English doesn't sound anything like the modern English.
No, it
It's, a,
doesn't.
it's just like
We're
Latin.
not. We're not speaking the King's English.
And we are speaking the King's English.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. This not this. We're
No,
not.
we're
We
not.
don't speak common English.
We're not. Okay,
We didn't learn common English.
you say so.
You go to England. Go. You can go. You can go to England right now, because um, and listen to the dialects from the Scottish to the different parts of England, and you wouldn't even recognize it.
Of
But
course, I know.
we speak proper English.
Same thing with Ireland. I don't know what they're talking about.
Our
But let's get back.
the Irish
Let's
don't
get
speak Gaelic anymore.
no. Let's get back. Let's get to what we were going at in the chat room about when I was in
Mm-hmm.
this channel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, white supremacy is a myth. Doesn't exist.
Why? Okay. Prove it.
I'm I can prove. I can prove it for myself.
No. Prove it. Prove it worldwide.
Like I said, if explain the Commerce Clause.
Well, the Commerce Clause don't have anything to do with white supremacy. That's a
It, it,
That's a
yes, it does.
localized law
It's
in the
not
United
localized.
States.
It
You
was
talking about
national.
you talk about the international. What do they call it? The It's been years since I even looked at this shit. It's been like 25 years about the Commerce Clause and the ICC, the International Commerce Clause.
Commerce Clause states what they're doing, and we
But
included ourselves
that,
into this.
that is maritime. Yeah, yeah. You know what? You know what? All them dudes that were saying it back 30 years ago. Guess where most of them are?
Where
In jail.
saying what? That what I'm saying?
Using that crap, just like that chick they tried to use the International Commerce Clause and was it it wasn't Philly, what was that? Was it Baltimore?
She
Outside
wasn't
of
using no
Baltimore,
Commerce
she
Clause.
got shot. And she tried to
She was
use that shit.
she
Man, that
was a
shit don't
crack.
work.
She didn't know what she was talking about,
That,
and she
that,
was a
that, that,
crackpot.
that doesn't
That,
work, man.
she
That
was
stuff
a
don't work.
crackpot. Let's
That
let's
stuff
talk about why she got shot. Let's talk about what. Let's,
they've been trying to use that stuff, man, for the last 30 years. Man, I got introduced to that stuff in the early 80s.
well, I can speak for myself. It works for me.
Well,
I don't.
good for
I
you.
don't use the
You're
Commerce
lucky.
Clause. I don't
You're
pay.
lucky.
I go to court when I don't have to pay no traffic
You,
ticket. I don't
you,
commit crimes, so I don't have issues with the police. I'm proof. There's plenty of proof out there.
Now,
What she talking about,
oh,
she
well,
don't know what she was talking about.
let me ask you a question. Okay, International Commerce Clause, right? Who wrote that?
I'm talking about here.
International Commerce Clause. Who wrote that?
Let me go back. You tell me who
International
wrote it.
Commerce Clause. Who wrote that? What group of people actually wrote that?
I'm talking about the national commerce clause. I ain't talking about international.
Oh, well, the ICC or the Commerce Clause, which is maritime law, which is what it's derived from,
Yeah, the
was
one I'm
actually
talking about derived from that, but it was the
was
one I'm talking
actually
about not maritime law.
actually derived from what English law, right? Who are those people?
Us.
Oh, you're white?
Put it this way: what is white? Because European, the ones you know as Caucasians, they're not white. White, it's the
No,
Phoenicians,
the Phoenicians,
Chaldeans.
the
White's a
Phoenicians,
status. That's a status.
the Phoenicians and the Chaldeans aren't white.
They statuses. White's a status. It's not a nationality, race, or
And
creed.
then, well, the group of people that we want to call white, whatever you want to call them.
That wasn't them.
And
I call them
oh,
Caucasians.
so you call them Caucasians, okay? Okay, Caucasians. If you want to call them Caucasians, you want to call it Caucasian supremacy. Is Would that make you feel better?
Nope. And then they not even the real Caucasians. I seen the
Oh,
pictures of the real Caucasians. They were dark skinned.
the Caucasus Mountains, they were not dark.
Yes, they was.
They were not dark.
The ones that were inside the caves are the ones you call Caucasians.
So the Caucasus Mountains in Europe, what color were they?
The original people look like you and me.
Really?
Yeah, they had locks and everything.
Really? The original people.
Really,
How long ago how long ago is this?
we talking about what hundreds of years ago, even maybe thousands of
Hundreds
years
of
ago.
years ago, hundreds of years ago, really. So basically there should be photographs of these people in the Caucasus Mountains with dreads.
There was. You know what? I'm gonna email it to you. We're gonna do this again. I'm gonna email it to you.
Okay. So you got 100% documented proof that these are the people
Yeah,
that are black.
blacks of status. They
Blacks
were
are
melanated.
they were melanated.
Yep.
Okay, so you're throwing around all these terms. What?
No,
No, basically, you said they look like you and me.
yeah.
So they were dark people,
Yes, sir.
right?
So let's get back.
So
Most people.
let's get back to who wrote. So let's get back to the people in England because those are pale people, and these are the people that wrote the Commerce Clause.
I'm talking about the ones here. I ain't talking about the one in England. I'm talking about the Commerce Clause here.
Where you think where you think it's derived from?
Of course, it's derived from that. And their laws is derived from Rome.
And those laws they were derived from Rome. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, the Commerce Clause, which is the International Commerce Clause, was what it's based on. This is what you're talking about. If you're talking about the Commerce Clause, that's what it's derived from. That's where it came from. Okay. What do you think we were when before we became the United States?
Who came from?
What do you think the United States was before it became the United States?
It was the Continental Congress.
It was the English. There were English colonies.
It was only a couple of them.
No, there wasn't. How many colonies were there when they
Thir-
actually there were what
13.
13?
13.
So basically what is the definition of a couple?
A what?
What is the definition of a couple?
Two.
Two. So in other words, does two equal 13?
Nope.
Okay, so this is just history. So saying there's only a couple of them doesn't matter because guess what? They were English colonies before they became American colonies, and they were still American states after that. What do you think they brought with them?
They brought those Caucasians with
They
them.
brought those laws with them.
Yes, it started in Georgia with James Oglethorpe. He founded the state of Georgia. He brought his slaves with him, so what they call, let's say, indentured servants. And he started.
What was the first colony?
Wasn't it? It was in Rhode Island. They call it Massachusetts.
Jamestown, Virginia, wasn't it?
Nope. That's where they first came to.
Now Jamestown, wasn't it? The first colony?
Nope. That's where they first arrived. Now you could say Virginia. That's where they settled.
Plymouth Rock was what? Massachusetts.
Yep. So, like, I'm gonna prove that whites were the so-called whites were the slaves. Was it the Rhode Island plantation?
So in other
James
words,
Oglethorpe.
so in other words, what you're saying, okay, you're one of those indigenous folks that's saying that we're already here, right?
I got proof that I was here. My family was here.
Oh, so okay, what's the name? What's the name of your peoples then?
On my mother's side, they were Manahawks. Father's side, they were Seminole.
So
Seminole and Cherokee.
Seminoles. What Seminole means? What semi? What is that?
You don't
They're
play
not
word game.
in other words, they're mixed. They're Semites.
No, they not.
Yes, they were.
Oh, yeah, we all Semites. Yeah, you're right. We all Semites.
There were escaped black slaves and the natives they gave them a name called Seminoles.
They wasn't slaves.
The thing is, there's miles and miles of documentation that says that they were. You
They
have
was not
and you
slaves.
have how much do you have on your side?
How much what?
There's like 10 tons of documentation that says they were. How much is on your side?
I've quite a few. Like
No,
I said,
how much? How much they have receipts, tons and tons of receipts on basically
Yeah,
on four continents. They have receipts.
yes,
Where
because
where
their
where
people, because it was
where
their people that was enslaved.
where's your proof?
I got proof.
Where's your proof?
I've looked it
Where's
up.
your oh
Nobody in my
no,
family was
no,
slaves. Nobody was slaves.
you
Nobody in my family was hung. Nobody in my
uh,
family can
pro-
even produce a
prove
manumission papers.
prove manumission papers. You don't need manumission papers
Why don't you?
because they banned slavery. They just let you go. You don't need manumission papers. You
Well,
don't need
explain all these Caucasians that show me their manumission papers.
if Caucasians the original indentured servants, you were indentured for 7 years. When they gave you your freedom, they signed a document saying that your debt was paid. That's manumission. In 1865, when they passed a law abolishing slavery, you don't need manumission papers because you're no longer slave because slavery doesn't exist anymore.
Slavery always exists. You're playing word games. Became employee.
So in other words, we're still slaves, right? Is that what you're saying?
If well, you work,
No, no,
you
no.
are. You just, it's just a word game.
No, no, it is not a word game.
It is.
It's not a word game. If you're gonna
I'm
play the
not a
word,
slave.
if you're gonna play the word game, play it right.
Yeah. Anybody call themselves Negro, Black, Colored, African American? Yes, you are a slave.
We didn't name ourselves Negro. We were classified as Negro.
So why would they
Well,
accept it?
it doesn't. You don't have to accept it whether you like it or not. You're gonna be classified it because you ain't got the guns to tell them otherwise, do you?
We don't need no guns.
Yes, you do. Well, you
We
don't have to.
forced ourselves into this.
You can call yourself anything you want.
Yes, there's a law, international law,
International law, really.
Declaration of Human Rights,
What does that mean?
and nobody can be
What does that mean?
denied.
Ask the Palestinians about international law and human rights. Ask them about that.
Yeah, like listen, we don't know what's going on over there.
No, no, no. Ask them. No, ask them about it.
Okay, we talking about us, talking
Now,
about
no,
here.
no. When you talk about international law, we talk about everybody because it don't mean shit. Don't mean shit. What's going on down in Venezuela? International law don't
It
mean
means a
shit.
lot.
It don't
What's
mean
going on?
shit. It don't mean shit. It don't
What's
mean
going on
shit.
in Venezuela?
It don't mean shit. You can sign a piece of paper and people they can sign it on international law and people can ignore it like they always do. Don't mean
So you,
shit.
so you're saying we were forced to
You
be into
bomb,
this system,
you against international law. You bombed a whole country called Syria against international law. Don't mean shit.
and you believe that?
Well, I guess so. What do you believe?
I believe it's all bullshit.
Oh, then it's all bullshit. So then nothing we say or nothing
No,
that we
I'm
read
talking
means
about all
no,
those
no, no,
bombings
no,
you
no.
see.
Well, nothing we say and nothing that we read means anything because it's all bullshit. So what are we arguing about? Because you don't believe it, do you?
I don't believe nothing that goes on overseas.
Well, then you don't believe it, do you?
No, I don't.
You know, wherever you are, I can say what's happening in California. You can't believe it because you're not here.
I can believe it because I got family out
No,
there.
no, you don't have. How do you know? You're not here. They could tell you anything.
Why would he tell me anything?
I don't know. You don't have to because you're not here. You didn't see it for yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
So if that's the case, then none of this means anything, does it?
What you talking about the
And you
Palestinian Syria? That doesn't mean anything.
and what you say about your ancestors 150 years ago doesn't mean shit because you wasn't there.
I be trying to explain that. I didn't say
No, no,
it means
because
shit. That's my lineage.
how do you know you wasn't there?
I go by
How do you know?
word of mouth.
How do you go by word of mouth?
Word of mouth, documentation,
You wasn't there.
proof.
You wasn't there.
I go by
You wasn't
documentation,
there.
proof,
You wasn't there.
stuff that I researched.
You don't ca- you wasn't there.
You wasn't there
You
either.
wasn't there.
You wasn't there.
In other words, why do you believe it and you wasn't there? But the thing is, something that's happened in real time, someplace else, you don't believe it because it's all bullshit. But you believe something that happened 150 years ago.
You're playing semantics.
No, I'm not playing semantics. These are your words.
We talking about
No, use
So
these.
you talking about the
No,
bombing in Syria?
these are your words. In other words, something happened in real time during your lifetime that you can observe, you can see the effects of in real time. You don't believe because it's
I
bull.
have yet,
You,
I've yet to see the
because
effects of
it's
white supremacy.
because it's bullshit. Well, you have yet to see the effects of white supremacy. So what? So but all those people marching, all those people that have been lynched, the shit that's still going on, the discrimination that's still fucking going on
What?
today. You don't believe in it,
They marching for no fucking reason. The
really?
simple thing:
Okay,
leave,
okay.
leave
They don't. They leave to where?
the system.
Okay, to do where? To go where?
For my own.
Where?
Here, this is our land. It's not the what Europeans' land, the
Try it.
Caucasian
Well,
land.
try it. You try it.
We've done it.
And what happened?
We wanted to sit next to the
No, we did.
Caucasian.
They burned
Yes,
them.
we
They
did.
burned those cities down. There's historical
That,
records of it.
what cities?
Hmm? Look them
What
up.
city?
Well, we can name at least four. Well, you automatically know about what Rosewood. You automatically knows about. I think it was Colfax, Louisiana. There's a bunch more of that. There's history of them burning down parts of towns in Detroit, Chicago, wherever. Right?
I
Race
haven't heard
riot.
about those. I
East.
know about Tulsa and I know about Rosewood.
You
And
you
those
know,
and those
there's about a hundreds more that you haven't heard about, but you don't research those, do you?
no, I researched all of them.
No, you don't.
I only
No, you don't.
found maybe
No, you,
two that was
no, you
burned
don't.
down.
No, you don't. It's called Google's your friend.
It is.
Look it up. There's 150 of them. Go
Yeah.
look
And
them up.
and what happened after that? You got Deacons for Defense, the Black Guard.
Why do you need the Dickens for defense if white supremacy doesn't exist?
That wasn't white supremacy. They wasn't supreme.
They weren't supreme. Okay,
We was in their system.
we're in their system.
Yeah. And those people fought back. I don't want to hear about the victims. Let me hear about the people that fought but that kicked ass, like the Black Guard,
They
Richard
kicked ass.
Walker.
They kicked ass. Okay,
Yeah,
for 12 million people, and most of those people left
most
and
of them
went
didn't.
someplace
Most of them
else.
stayed. A lot of them went to Cuba. Yeah, a lot of them went to Cuba.
Really? Okay, how many went to Cuba?
Quite a few.
How many?
There's a book, Negroes with Guns.
Mm-hmm.
They were and they voted 4 times because they dumbed it down. The original guy was killing everything with a hood on. That's not white
Oh,
supremacy.
so what? So what is he? So what is he fighting against?
He was fighting against Caucasians, the
Fighting against
Klan.
Caucasians. Okay, white supremacy. White supremacy has bombed countries and kicked ass all over this planet.
Well, if
Chinese
they so
Chinese believed in it when they came over and took them over too.
who took over? Nobody took over China. They
White
just took over
white
Hong
people took
Kong.
over Chinese. No, they took over the whole. They actually controlled the whole country.
If you believe that,
I don't care. Well,
if whites are so supreme, why don't they say we ain't paying your debt? We got the bigger gun. We're not paying your debt.
who's paying? Who we ain't paying your debt? Have they paid
We
our
ain't paying the debt.
Have they paid it?
Hell no. That's why they in
Why
the hole
have
now.
they paid it?
They don't have any money.
Have they paid it?
Nope.
Have they paid it?
Nope.
Can we force them to pay it?
It's not. Well, no.
Can we force them to pay it
We can.
as a group?
We can.
Oh, can how really? Well, do tell.
Once we go back to who we really are,
Okay,
stop
who?
labeling ourselves black,
Uh,
Negro, colored, all that other crap, ADOS, and stop distancing ourselves from our natural land.
okay, this is not set from my natural land. Where are the most of the so-called native indigenous people for the most
They
part? Where are they?
they all around,
Where are they? No, they're
all
not.
around it. Damn every city, every state.
Then every city, every state. Where are most of them? There's 75 million of them. When the Caucasians first came here, there's less than a million of those people still left.
There you go playing numbers game, which is bullshit.
Mm,
They
Uh,
playing. They calling themselves.
no,
They
no,
calling themselves ADOS, blacks,
Ada.
Negroes, coloreds.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
That's where they at.
I've been
That's where they at.
I've been down to I've been down to Mexico and Guatemala, where those native people, indigenous people, still are and still on their native land and still basically the same. And I can trust and believe they don't look like me.
The one you talking about, they not even native. Well, they native. They're not Aboriginal. They're
And
not
and,
indigenous.
and
They're
basically,
Mongolian.
and,
They're
and,
Mongolian descent.
and basically where they are is a hell of a lot hotter than it is up here.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot hotter. And basically, they don't look like us.
No, because they're not us. They're not even the original people of those Mexico, South
I've
America.
been on the west coast of Africa, and them people look like us.
Yes, they look like us.
And
They're not us.
them people look like us. Okay, the DNA checks out. What they look like, their customs, everything else checks out. Okay, checks out. So I don't know.
DNA,
So I don't know what you seeing. I don't know what you're seeing.
I'm seeing a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what you're seeing.
Well, keep up with that black Africa crap. When they never, nobody ever produced the slave ship.
Hey, every nobody ever produced a slave ship. All right. Okay.
Nope.
How did the Caucasians get here?
Yeah, they was on slave ships. We
Oh, they
talking
was.
about for our people.
Where are their slave ships?
The what they call that they taught us in school. The what's it? The Pinto, the Santa Maria. Their
Dude,
ships are here. There's documents that they came in on the ship.
bye,
There's no
dude.
documentation of us.
Bye, dude, man. Bye.